I don't know. I wake up this morning. I'm in a half daze. I'm looking for my socks. I can't find my socks. My wife is going to go down in history as one of the greatest saboteurs known to man. She should have been like, I don't know, one of the werewolves in World War II on the way out. Remember Hitler had the werewolves? He just basically said, fuck everything up, guys. They won. Just make life a living nightmare for them. That's my wife. I think her and Hitler would have got along like terrifically. She would have sat down in his little office there. He comes in with coffee. You know? Tell me how you tortured this man again. Oh, she goes, you have no idea. I threw out all his socks. He doesn't have one sock known to living man. This is great. I don't know how Adolf Hitler turned Russian all of a sudden. Und tell me how you made his life a living hell. Anyhow, good news, I lost more hair. I said, I'm getting older. I'm like, is there anything to look forward to? It's every day you get more disgusting as you grow older. You didn't know that? That's right. More hair falls out. You're looking, it's like the skin on your face is melting off. I need coffee, for Christ's sake. It's very depressing. That's why I just exist to go to barbecues now. That's right. I went to a barbecue last night. I've become a Shaolin monk of going to I could go to any party where everybody's speaking a different language. I just sit there and I stare off into the distance. I exist. I love it. I went over to, I need coffee, man. Big time. I go over to my sister-in-law's house last night. She's having what I like to call a grease and oil barbecue. Okay, you ever have these things? What are they called? Pupusa. It's El Salvadorian meal. It's basically where you take a certain type of meal or bread and soak it in oil like a sponge. And then there was these rolled up tacos that are dipped in oil. Everything's dipped in oil. You have no idea. And she's heating the oil up with vinyl siding. Oh yeah. This is like environmental disaster cooking. That's what she should have. A cookbook that references that. That's right. Environmental cooking disaster. Chapter 1. Do you have any vinyl siding laying around? Hey, I'm going to show you how to make a casserole burning records. Yeah, you didn't know that? You can't burn records. It creates like World War II poison gas. So there you have it. And I think when I found that out, I was playing with the idea of making like the world's largest melted record ball. You gotta do something interesting in your life. You gotta bring some of these assholes back to New York. I don't know why. It's like this guy that came back from Texas. This guy I know, he went down to Texas and then came back. I still can't look at him straight in the eyes. What are you doing? this is like breaking back into the concentration camp. It's like, hey guys, I'm back. What's for dinner? Oh, I forgot. Give me a break. He's back with a big smile, too. Ah, cha, 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 cha. I said, what are you smiling at? You kidding me? You had a place in Texas, you sold it, and you moved here? There's bigger problems in the world, I don't know. There's bigger problems, like I sit down next to this guy. You ever sit down next to one of these guys that is perpetually yawning? I'm like, excuse me, can you stop sucking the life out of my body? Somebody starts yawning, I start yawning. Now I'm tired. He says to me, I got too much sleep last night. I'm like, how, what? You ever hear this one? This guy's always complaining to me about how he got too much sleep. I said, I would love to videotape this moron from hell saying that. And then hop in a time machine and go back to the beaches of Normandy. Right? And as I run up to a Marine that's hunkered into the side of a sand dune, and he's tying off the, what are they called? I never knew we need more, I don't know, those fucking bombs in the pipe that they used to blow up pillboxes. We need more Bangalores over here, screaming. Hey, Captain! He turns around, and Captain's face is blown to smithereens. It's just a head with a goddamn spinal cord hanging out of it. Oh, I'm sorry, you with the microphone. Priority now. What's the problem? I'd like to show you this short video. Man, I got too much sleep last night. This is what you're fighting for, sir. That's right. This is what you're fighting for. MG42, 20 feet away. You imagine storming the beaches in Normandy? Let me tell you something. You load me on that transporter heading for the beach. Somebody better have a pack of cigarettes somewhere. That's all I gotta say. I would have 10 cigarettes like this. I'd be like, oh, we're heading for the beach? Great. Can't wait. Why'd they put me to the front? We would survive because our entire troop transport ship would be engulfed in a cloud of fucking cigarette smoke. You understand? The Germans would be like, und transporter on fire! I run out onto the beach. It's like a flamethrower coming at you. I start flicking cigarette ash like Harvey Keitel in Taxi Driver. That's my weapon. You ever see when he flicks the cigarette into, what's his name? Badoo. And the ash the sparks go like this? I said, it's awfully rude. Especially coming from a guy in platform shoes. But we all know what happened at the very end. What? By the way, I come from the year 2023. You guys are doing a great job. Everybody in the United States is gay now. So, that's all. The new trend is painting your fingernails and wearing a skirt. Did you see this picture of LeBron James? I said, you can't be serious. I had this argument with this guy at work who's the greatest basketball player of all time. He says Michael Jordan. I say LeBron James. Do I give a shit? No. Do I watch basketball? I could give a fuck? No. I just arguing with the guy. And you know what? I come up with these fake arguments, and they're compelling. And sometimes he's got to sit there and think. But I saw a picture with LeBron James dancing around in a skirt or something. I said, that's it, I'm out. I'm out. the other day, I said, you know what? You're right. Jordan is the best. I don't know. The day I see Michael Jordan come out in a skirt. That's the day I get rid of my Bulls starter jacket. Remember the Bulls starter jacket back in high school? Holy shit, though. Starter jackets. Remember it went from, like, everybody wanted a starter jacket. It was an NFL football team starter jacket. And then it went to, like, college football hats. Remember the college football, the white ones, you know, university or whatever. I remember I was part of this whole starter jacket craze. And you know something? I had a Cowboys starter jacket. All right? Because I'm a big Dallas fan. And then it went to Apex. Remember Apex pullovers? So you had starter jackets first, and then you had Apex pullovers. What's that? You fell asleep? Listen, I don't blame you. You got nothing better to do? Huh? Why don't you go sit in your house with air conditioning? Okay? And I'll sit in mine without. What's that? You never went to bed and just sweated your eternal soul directly into the mattress? I think when I get out of bed, there's like a mineral deposit in the shape of a body. You know what it's like to go to bed and just sweat into the bed? Oh my God. Disgraziato. I tell you what. You know how you walk into a room and they have the automatic lights now? Oh yeah. Yeah, you walk into a bathroom and the lights turn on. Now if I go into a room and I gotta turn on the lights, it's like, Jesus Christ. Fucking too much work. I don't want to do anything. I'm done doing anything. You know, you understand? When you get to 47 now, okay? Just like I'm finished doing anything. There'll be no more bending at the hip. Right? I'm almost done with walking. Just don't want to do anything anymore. Just want to like lay down on the couch. Why does it feel so good? Like everything hurts. Just like I love women. I have fibromyalgia. Like what? Everything hurts all the time. Oh, then I've been living with fibromyalgia for the last 40 years. Because the only time I feel good is when I lay down on a couch. You know what it's like when you lay down on a couch and you get that phone in front of your face? You're like, oh, that's all. That's all. And then you fall asleep and the phone nails you in the two front teeth. You're like, ba-ding! Or I do that thing when I'm next to my wife. I can't even lay in bed and just be on my phone. You're doing that thing where you fall asleep and then you lose control of your arms for a couple seconds. You're like, and you snap back. Hey, go to sleep! Just shut up! How is this bothering you? And then my wife's got to have the volume. I don't know. It's like she's got a Marshall half stack coming off the back of her phone. So you'll be scrolling through her videos. All of a sudden, I'm like, guys, I really have nothing to talk about today. That's it. This is like a real I don't know. You know, I did go to Splish Splash, the water park, over vacation, you know. And I said to myself, as I'm at the water park, I gotta piss. And I say, okay, I'll just piss like on one of the rides. You ever try to piss on a water flume? It's impossible. It's like I gotta be completely still to take a piss. You ever try to take a walking piss? You can't. You can't, unless you start pissing and then you start walking. I'm like, I can't empty out this fucking piss in this water park. It's amazing to me. If you're not in the lazy river, even in the wave pool, they had the wave pool, I'm like holding still. And the waves and like kids are jumping up and down and you're the only one sitting there holding still. It's completely obvious that you're taking a piss. They should, over the intercom, you hear it. Hey, come on. Come on. Yes, come on. Guy with red hair. Guy with red hair, no ass, acne on his back. Disgusting, I'm throwing up. Red hairs. Red fucking hairs! Coming out of everything, even his ears. This is a human atrocity. We know you're taking a piss. It's obvious to everybody on planet Earth. Step out of the pool. I don't know. It was my dream. I don't know. Maybe I get tased in the wave pool. I'd love to see somebody get tased in a water park. Does it mean that everybody in the pool gets tased? I'm in. So I'm in the middle of the wave pool, and by the way, I want to thank Splish Splash for designing the wave pool so it's shallow. It's very shallow. It's only like 3 feet. And the surface of the water is just lower than my small penis impression coming out of my bathing suit. So it's like my small penis impression is just exposed. I was like, can we just get another couple inches of water in here to cover this thing up so nobody's got to see it? Every time I get out of the water, my bathing suit is like inverted here. I'm like, what is this? What am I, world? What am I, no penis man? For crying out, Trin. You know, some guys, they get out of the water, you see a nice like loggerhead going off to the side. You're like, holy schmoly. What does this guy sing for the Stone Temple Pilots? I get out of the water. It's like, I don't know. It's like a crater. Anyhow. Get out of the wave pool. I said, let's face it. This is the bathroom. We're standing in the wave pool. The lazy river and the wave pool are the bathrooms of the water park. So there you have it. You get out of that pool, it's like you got a staph infection, ringworm. What am I going to tell you? Plantar fasciitis. Warts. Why does anybody leave the house? I'm beginning to realize there's no reason to leave your house. So like I said, I was going over to my sister-in-law's house, and of course I got to bring over my little drinking kit. It's amazing what a drug addict I've become. At the end of the day, if you think about like the coffee, the amount of coffee and just drinking and shoehorning cigarettes throughout the day, and it's you jump from one thing to another. If I go out somewhere, I'm like, okay, how can I destroy or damage the human body? Cigarette, anybody? Anybody have a cigarette around here? Some alcohol? Basically like poison. It's poison at the end of the day, alcohol. Why are we lying to ourselves? Anybody got any poison? Can we finish off the day with a cup of coffee and a huge piece of cake? Because you could throw sugar in there too. Okay? Who sent me these coffee crisps from Canada? Okay, I wish you were here right now. We'd get into a fist fight. I brought the whole sleeve of coffee crisps into the bed with me. Like that little gremlin from Lord of the Rings. I was eating coffee crisps under the covers. This is like lowest point of humanity. What are some of the greatest achievements? I don't know, gold medal in the Olympics? And then they should pan the cameras over to my bed And I'm just scuttled under there, eating coffee crisps. I couldn't resist shoving one after another into my mouth. Very content. Everybody's got their own thing, you know? So anyway, I got my kit. I got my little drinking kit that I got to bring everywhere. So I could Jack Daniels. It's got a huge bottle of Jack Daniels. Okay? It was on sale. There's no reason for this. You know the really, really big one that looks like one of those street lights from New Orleans turned upside down? It's an enormous piece of glass. Anyhow, I got to bring 3 Cokes. I'm practically bringing my own ice. And as soon as I walk into the party, I got to start mixing a drink. Yeah, that's it. And then I drink too much. And then my voice goes up, I don't know, 80 decibels. And then I'm arguing with people that barely speak English about Joe Biden. Okay? That guy's a cocksucker, this, that, the other thing. Next thing you know, they're like, we're doing the prayer. I'm like, oh, very sorry. Let me come over. Pray to Jesus. I'm all about it. Pray to Jesus. I prayed this morning. I said, I'm very grateful. Very grateful. That's right. I mean, you want to take my wife early? We can hammer that out. What's that? I understand. What's that? You don't want her up there? I don't blame you. She would critique the crown molding in heaven. That's what, and Jesus would be like, you know what? You got to go. You're out of here. I don't know. Send her down to purgatory. Let her hang out there. I always thought purgatory is you go to purgatory and you basically stare at that Iron Maiden album cover the whole time. Maybe you do. Who knows? I imagine purgatory is real comfortable. It's kind of like an all-inclusive resort that you can't leave. For what feels like an eternity. Anyhow, yeah, I got my little drinking kit there. It's basically I got to bring it everywhere I go. We leave the house. My son's like, Dad, you forgot your drinking kit. Oh, thank you, son. Got to carry it with me everywhere I go. That's right. Can't have a good. I love my friend's mother used to tell us because she didn't drink. I can have a great time without drinking. I'm like, yeah. Huh. That's awesome. You know how sad that comment is? I can't even imagine having a good time without drinking. Or some type of something. I don't know, fentanyl? You gotta take fentanyl to be around people these days. I know, she's the life of the party. Annoying to be a sweetheart of a woman, but let's face it, that's annoying. I don't have to drink, I have loads of fun. It's like, all right, slow clap marathon for you. I mean, what do you do? Shove a cucumber in your twat? What do you do for a good time? That's what I want, because everybody's got to have an outlet. I got you know something? I used to think I was really stupid, and I still kind of hold that opinion. But I'll tell you what, when you get older, you start to realize that you're kind of smarter than a lot of people than you thought. I never give myself the due credit. Like that's the thing about it. I have like this crazy low self-esteem. I think everybody's smarter than me. But then you get out there in the world and you start experiencing people and you're like, these are all dummies. They're all dum-dums. What I'm dealing with here. I'm not that dumb. I'm not as dumb as I thought I was. So when you get to that point, then you can't take anybody's shit anymore. You understand? I don't know. How far are we in here? It's ridiculous at this point. Half hour. I don't know, some guy beat me in an electric car the other day. You have to understand something. I get in my Mustang, and I think I'm Steve McQueen. I'm trying to race everything known to man. But to be honest with you, the Mustang's not fast. It's loud. It sounds amazing. There's not a better sounding car. Listen, small block Ford is one of the greatest sounding engines of all time, only to be topped by the flathead Ford. I'm telling you right now, every engine has a very distinct sound. You won't hear anything better than a 289 going through cherry bombs. I'm sorry. I'm very, very sorry. That I will say. But I got beat by, I don't know what it was. Probably one click, like one model more expensive than a Prius. These cars are running muscle car times in the quarter mile. You understand? When you got a muscle car, when you talk about the actual muscle car era, it was a wonder if anything broke into the 13s. Now, like these electric cars, they bust into they're running 11s here. Come on. I don't know. Very embarrassing. It's very embarrassing when your car is basically the loudest thing on the road and you're getting beat by an electric car. I don't know. God almighty. This is the thing that really bothers me, is that there are people out there that have access to pure, unfiltered artificial intelligence. And people like you and I are never going to see that. They give us this chat GPT, which is like, it makes me furious. I want to take my head and put it right through my computer screen. You ask it these questions, it gives you these censored, cookie-cutter answers. It's such an insult. Nobody talks about it, though. Everyone's like, oh, it's great. I can write code to a never-ending looping game of tic-tac-toe. Like, hey, asshole, I want the cure for cancer. By the way, you know what the cure for cancer is? I ain't no doctor. This isn't medical advice. But I think if you could just stop eating for like 30 days, you'd be cancer-free. I'm just taking a stab at it there. It's either that or you could have chemotherapy. I'm not going to doctors anymore. I'm not going to doctors. I think in my screwed up knucklehead brain that I'm not going to get cancer. I feel like quantum physics and life have a lot in common. Okay? So this is, in quantum physics, they say, well, something only happens when it's observed. Well, isn't that interesting, right? Or you could look at something in theory, an atom should be over here. Or something microscopic should be over here, right? An atom should be here and the electron should be here. But when observed, it's completely different setup. So wow, I said, doesn't that quantum physics translate into real life? Well, two things could be in two different places depending on whether they're being observed or not. I say, okay. So if I never go to the hospital and I never get the cancer diagnosis, then I don't have cancer. Woo! What's that? How's that for logic for you? Right now, you're probably thinking to yourself, here's a guy that never got past the 3rd grade. Well, I'll tell you what. That's my theory. And if I do get the cancer diagnosis, which I won't because I'm not going to doctors. You go to doctors if you break your arm, let's face it. Right? Again, not medical advice. But if you feel terrible and you're like, wow, this feels like cancer, it's ending me, then just stop eating for 30 days. Show me the tumor that's going to stick around for not getting nutrients for 30 days. I'd be like this. I'm like, oh man, this guy sucks. Anybody smoking around here? What does cancer cells need? Glutamine? That's it. And then you eat your apricot seeds and you stop eating. Well, that's a little, doesn't make sense. I think fasting will kill cancer. That's what I think. That's what I've been hearing. That's a general consensus. You know? God forbid you say it. I saw another guy developed this 0-point energy making machine and died. We got some flat out killers out there. You know? We got some real killers out there. You know, you think about it, you better not make the right move and figure something out. 'Cause somebody's going to come and kill you. Like, I'm like, what is this world we live in? Huh? We got all these killers out there? We said, well, are we in hell? That's what I'd like to know. Because it seems like anybody that tries to do anything right gets killed. This guy was like a family man. He was all excited. He was like, you know, this is going to help humanity. And it's like, not so fast. What do you have, a funnel cake at the state fair? He probably elbowed his wife earlier. It's like, hey, look at these guys in suits over here. They don't look like they belong at the state fair. They don't look like they're here to go on the zipper. Let's go get a funnel cake. Anyhow. Even the guy that built the car that ran on water, they poisoned him to death. Even his last words was like, they poisoned me. Somebody poisoned me. Imagine getting poisoned? That sucks. It fucking sucks, man. I tell you what, you're lucky to be alive. Don't go out there and do anything great. Don't go out and create a free energy machine. Don't cure cancer. They'll come and get you. Don't try to run the country the right way. They'll get you, baby. And that's the end of this edition of Dateline Depression. So what are we going to do here, guys? Callahan? Reporting for duty. Turn this fucking thing on so it can buzz in my ear the whole morning. And just like that, we're scanning for crimes. Yeah, that's right. It's like I was talking to this dumb bastard the other day because we're talking about like treats. You know, one of my favorite subjects in life is to talk about sugar treats, and he's telling me about devil dogs. I said, hey, bro, never mind the devil dogs. I said, you ever have a Suzy Q? He didn't know what a Suzy Q was, okay? I wanted to do that, what is that? That spear move that Vader used to do. Wasn't it Vader that did the spear? I don't know. I wanted to do a leaping shoulder smash at this guy. He didn't know what I told him, a Suzy Q is like a devil dog on Trenbolone. Am I here to tell you? Suzy Q was the only, like, one of those shit junk foods that you could buy that when you got done with it, you felt sick to your stomach. And I could eat legendary amounts of chocolate and candy, and for some reason when I got done with the Suzy Q, I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. I don't know, anybody got a Tums? Those things used to wreck you. Package of Suzy Q's and iced tea. I'm convinced that I might have been part cockroach. Because early in my life, I existed on glucose. So all I used to, and then when I would come home, I'd have a Twinkie. I see Twinkies nowadays. I see the box of Twinkies and I look at it and I go, I said, because I remember what it was like to have a Twinkie in 1993. Okay? That's the last time I had a Twinkie. And I said, I remember the flavor of the Twinkie exactly. So if I had a Twinkie now, I'd have a direct comparison to check it against. That's why I don't want to have a Twinkie right now, because I know I'm going to be expecting something and I'm going to get something else. Because the flavor of the Twinkie, I remember when in the 90s, you know, for those few years I was having a Twinkie after school every day because that was my routine. I would notice flavor changes. What's that? You tuned out? Tune out, guys. Come on. Go out there and do something. You gotta do something. Really? This. Guys, what we're here to talk about today is another topic that's gonna put you to sleep, because for some reason, every time I do one of these videos, everybody tunes out. These get low views. What are we gonna do? I want to talk to you about the magnificence of this book right here. PC Engine, the box art collection that we got from Dario. It was Dario. There was a message in there in the box somewhere. I don't know. I lost it. I'm professional at losing notes and stuff like that. Anyhow, I said, wouldn't it be fun? I started going through this book, and what an important reference it is, and I'll tell you why. I said, this book has many different functions. See, we turned to... By the way, I sat there as I went through this book and I cried. I never realized how many RPGs are on the PC Engine. I said, every single last one of these RPGs needs a translation, means to be brought here to the United States of America. And the fact that Japan hasn't done that yet makes me contemplate a second atom bomb. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Dude, guys, there's days worth of RPGs. Dragon Knight 3. You don't know how much time you could spend just on the Far East of Eden, too. These are hard-hitting RPGs. But what I also noticed by scrolling through here, just by the few... I'm trying to find you a good example of this. Yes. Just by the few screenshots down here, you can kind of tell if this would be a playable, like sometimes it's an action RPG or an action adventure game. So why can't we play Dinger? What? Dinkle Hopper? Why can't we try that? So you know certain games, they're out. They're not going to happen. Like we'll turn to no, another RPG I'd love to try. Linda. What is this? Linda. Okay? You know some games just aren't going to work. Because they're full-on Japanese and they're full-on RPGs. But you can get a glimpse from some of these screenshots. They tell you whether you'd be able to play this particular game or not. And why can't I find a fucking example? So you see that you could see this one, and you read it's a simulation, and you look down below, and you realize you're out. But what I'd like to talk to you about today is the list that I don't have now. Ah, yes, here it is. And I'd like to talk. I went through and I looked at what I thought was my top 10 PC Engine artwork, a box art. And I can tell you this. Let me say that maybe the ones that I picked, they're not the best artwork, because, you have wonderful artwork like Spriggan Mark II. I mean, Macross. You have wonderful, beautiful Might and Magic 3, Isles of Terror. Vastly better than the American version I'll tell you that right now. So it's really, really interesting to go through these and to see. I said, what are the ones that grab me? Okay, not necessarily the best artwork, but the ones that grab me. And here they are. It's the top 10, not in a particular order. Kadesh. Number 1, Kadesh. The artwork on Kadesh is so good. It's the American version, the TurboGrafx 16 version, and the PC Engine version have the same cover. Guys, this is beautiful artwork. And this doesn't this even kind of like explain the game perfectly too. I mean, you have the 4 fighters, a dragon coming up. I mean, expertly done. Expertly done. Number 2, not necessarily number 2 though, Download. For some reason, the first time I saw that cover, I had to investigate further. I said, this is so unusual. This is the great thing about the PC Engine library. Some you know, big, what do you say, ballsy moves in box art, right? Very ballsy. If you look at like Maniac Pro Wrestling, you're like, wow, this is very Japanese. It has these lines and whatnot, you know, these like brush lines and the figures. I mean, you get it. There's a suplex happening on the cover. But that's a ballsy move, you know. And you got covers like Bomberman, where it couldn't get any more simple. But man, does it really drive the game? It's Bomberman. Come on. And what is it? It's a circle with some eyes. That's wonderful box artwork, in my opinion. Anyhow, Download has that guy's face. I don't know what it is about it. It's very colorful. It just draws you in, and he's got this look on his face like something's going on. And I want to find out what it is. Okay, coming in at number 3, Sapphire. I mean, just, this to me was Japanese animation. First time I saw that box cover art. The stark white against the beautiful poppin' blue. Smoking hot shack on the cover. I mean, it works. It just works. It's a dazzling for the eyes. After that, I would say Gradius, the original Gradius, even though Gradius 2, very good. Very good, but something about that Gradius, it's that viewpoint of the back of your ship heading for that, you know, enormous destroyer or whatever it is very Star Warsy, you know, but beautifully done. A shooter box art like that realistic spaceship shit. It makes my burls vibrate, if I'm here to tell you. So that's Gradius. Number 5, I would have to say Gunhead. I love that look of the ship right in your goddamn face. Right? Gunhead, you could also talk about like Superstar Soldier. Had that outline like wire drawing of the spaceship. Kind of looked very 80s, like one of those Grumman t-shirts. Remember those like F-14 t-shirts, and it had like the wire drawing of an F-14, very futuristic, very Airwolf, Blue Thunder sort of thing going on there. But I like Gunhead. Gunhead just has, you know, has the blazing laser ship right there in your face. Awesome. Awesome. Number 6, Motor Rotor 2. Yeah, Motor Rotor 2. I mean, this for some reason, this box art like pops out at me. And I'm not talking about HUD double D's. Ow! Ow, ow, ow! Rita falls right on my foot. Thank you, Rita. I mean, guys, the tits are popping. No, anime chick on this car that has like essentially, I don't know, 8 wheels. You're like, what the fuck is going on here? It's a grabber. This box art grabs me. I picture this one. We're at Electronics Boutique, and it's just like you're panning along, and it's like, wow, that one grabbed me. Horrible game. Horrible game. That would have been the one that sucked the $50 out of my pocket as a kid. And I would have cursed it for the rest of my life. Horrible game. But incredible box art. Just very like, come and get me. Number 7, The Record of Lotus War. I mean, come on, guys. Do you gotta say any more? I just look at it. I saw it. I was like, wow, look at that. Record of Lotus War. Another one of those games that Turbo Force promised me was coming to America. God almighty. They told me Far East of Eden. They told me the Record of Lotus War. You know? What's going on here? Ease Book 4. Where was Ease Book 4? Oh my God, I could get so mad. You know what? The TurboGrafx could have been so fantastic if they just would have swung their balls around a little bit. God damn it. Working design. I blame working designs too. You couldn't get Record of Lotus War over here? Give me a break. Should have been working around the clock over there. Anyhow. Number 8 is one of my favorite PC Engine covers of all time. Silent Debuggers. Oh my God, it doesn't get any cooler. First of all, I might have a little bias here because I love the game. But these two guys, and there's two guys from the game, if you know the game, you know the guys. They're chilling in the tunnel there. And it's like they had a rough day. It's like, we gotta relax. We've been killing aliens all morning. They're just like leaning up against it, like having a smoke or whatever. And in the background, very ominously, you see a figure. Like, you know, it's not safe. It's not safe. It's just in that tunnel. It has that cool vibe. It's drawn so well. I mean, Silent Debuggers. And then you see how criminal the American box art is. And I say that. That whoever designed that box art was probably out of the janitor. What they do at NEC California, they were like, hey, we need box art for Silent Debuggers. We don't think America's going to understand how cool this PC Engine box art is. Oh, yeah? What is Frank the janitor doing right now? Oh, he's using the end of the plunger, the wooden handle end of the plunger, to poke a log down the toilet. All right, tell him to put together a box art cover for us, will you? Give him this box of crayons. Anyhow, guys, it's Silent Debuggers. Number 9, I don't know. Listen, Soldier Blade. Soldier Blade. Soldier Blade, not only a whopper of a game, okay, but I think the box art is just like action-packed. It's like your plane is swooping in. And in the background, you see the enemy like mothership, but like foggy background almost. Kind of like arrow fighters, right? No, what, am I saying that right? Arrow blasters. Kind of have the fogged background. You see the ship back there. That's another beautiful box art. Jesus Crimler. Jesus. But anyway, Soldier Blade, like your ship is swooping in. You have your helper guy on the outside with like the machine gun. It's like you guys are going. This is like action. It's full of action. Tells you everything you need to know. Awesome. And number 10, I would say this is probably the most the PC Engine box art cover that probably left the biggest impression on me. Vigilante. Oh. Vigilante is such a hard video game box art. Huh? Am I wrong? You're like, what is going on here? The expression on her eyes, the knife to the neck. This is like brutal. The guy's got his like cocaine skull ring on. You know, that's like the ring he does cocaine off of. Slit this bitch's throat today. Ow. You know, this is bad. This is a bad guy. And this is a horrors of the street. You understand? You look at this cover and you're like, I gotta save this broad. Let me in there. What do I gotta do? Throw a couple of fucking Hadoukens? Guys, that is badassery to a whole new level, that box art. Okay? So there you have it. There's the top 10. Yes, we can expect very low view counts here today. And so I have some honorable mentions here, okay? I say Faucet Armor. I don't know if that's how you say it. I don't give a shit. Beautiful, beautiful box. I mean, you go on and on. I mean, there are some very beautiful ones. Super Raiden. I love Super Raiden with that black, ominous ship. Very stealth fighter-esque, right? At probably right around the same time, Stealth Fighter was like the big talk of the town. So, yeah, I love that box art cover. Tatsujin, I don't know whether it's just the essence of that game, that mythological, like, monolith of a game. Tatsujin, it just has such a power, it has such a force. Maybe that's what makes the box art pop for me, because I remember just looking at that box and wanting it so bad. Tatsujin. So, maybe the box art isn't that great, but it just means something. If that makes any goddamn sense at all. Guys, do you realize you just didn't mention Cosmic Fantasy 3 or Dead of Brain? Okay, we get it. Do you realize you just tuned in to the greatest video game program in the history of human civilization? And you better believe that. With a 4K face! We'll see you next time. Guys, the Advices program is popping. I'm here to tell you. You have problems? This is the email. Okay? You're going to answer. You're going to answer. You're going to ask us questions. And we're going to give you wonderful answers just like this. They told me the baby's 9 pounds, 10 ounces. All right? So I'm like, we got a cunt ripper over here. Let us both die. I can't fuck. This is the next set of advices, by the way. My friend likes to get right to the point. That's fine. I can't fuck ugly women. Fuck them all, big and small. That's what I say. I was listening to Parasite, baby. Parasite night. Parasite, baby. Hold me tonight. I mean, what's that? You want to drink a bottle of Clorox? Give me a shot. What am I talking about here? Guys, your lives are very fucked up. Okay? I mean, I'm looking in your living room right now, and it's like, oh, wow, nice window AC on the front of the house. And you got a lot of fucking problems, all right? And I got a lot of fucking answers. So, I mean, this is the email right here. All right? Email me. And we're going to solve all your problems. Just like... That's right. Patreons, I want to say how grateful I am to all of you for the support. And we'll see you guys next time.